Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Earlier we discussed about how we need to create a basic EC2 instance. Now we are going to discuss about more advanced way how we are going to launch EC2 servers. If you want to build create EC2 server, generally I'll show you. If I go, let's go to the AWS console. If I go to launch the EC2 instance, so I'm just showing manually. Then later we'll go with the Terraform, fully automated. So I'll select anything. Doesn't matter. You can go with any Linux. I'll go with Red Hat one. So then I can select a free tier one T2 micro. Then if I go to next, if I go to the next, if I go to the next, then you can see there is option lot of us number of instance. You can go with one or two. So it doesn't matter if you give it the two, or it will go launch the two instance at a time. I'll go with one at the moment. Then we'll see. Later we'll go with two if you want. Okay. Here is a network. So network means VPC. Which VPC? Which VPC we want to create a EC2 instance. Then if you go to subnet is basically a availability zones. Availability zone, there is a multiple availability zones is available. There is a multiple availability zones. So 2A and 2B, 2C. So if you want to use the 2A, that based on that we have to give we have to pass the argument in the Terraform .tf file and public IP. It's depend upon if you use the auto as in public IP. It doesn't matter actually this one for us. So when you go to the rail wall, we'll use the private only. That's default of coming up to data current taxi stuff. That's a different one. I'll talk about later. Then IAM role. IAM role means what is the role which you want to create. The EC2 server, what kind of access you want. Okay, if you want, let's say what the access means. The EC2 server has to communicate with S3 and EC2 role. In that case, what happens is we have to create one role for EC2 instance. On the top of that, we are going to create a policy for S3. The policy has to attach the EC2 role. So that is the role. So I don't want to go with the default one. I want to go with the customized one. Okay. If I scroll down a little bit, okay, if I scroll down, there is a different option available. I'll talk about later. Okay, then go to the security group. This is the root volume. We'll go with the default one. If I go to the next level, these are the tags which you want. I'll call it as a tag. Tags basically we want to use. We can easily find out. Tag the server, particular server is a dev environment or prod environment, so we can easily define. Let's say if we create tag here, if we can create an environment, so we can call it as a dev. So what does mean? Then we can easily figure out this instance is part of a dev environment. If I go to next level, this security group. The security group actually, I don't want to go with the default one. I want to create a name, specific name, which is the inbound rule. So what is the inbound rules? If you want to connect, let's say you create the EC2 instance. If you want to connect the EC2 instance, inbound means, so we have, if you want to connect means the 22 port has to open if you want to connect. So in that case, we want to enable 22 port. Okay. Okay. I don't want to 22 port. Let's say, for example, we want to installing any web application. So we can go with HTTPS or HTTP. If you go with HTTP, HTTP port has to enable. Then only you can access the application through browser level. So that is called inbound rules. Outbound rules is basically outside world. If you want to, when outside world, we can will give it as always everything open 0 0. So it doesn't matter out. So few cases we are going to restrict it outside as well, but most of the cases will go with outbound is 0 0 only. Okay, then review and launch. In the review and launch, you can see what are the things which are going to pass it here. Then finally launch, we are going to pass the keys. Based on the keys, we are going to launch. So this is what we are going to do everything manually. So I don't want to go with this one. I want to go with fully automated through Terraform. Okay, let's go back to the I write some code. So okay, if you look at this, this is basically from till here. So resource. So resource on AWS instance, and earlier I already talked about just to creating the normal EC2 instance. Now we are creating the customized with IAM role and the EC2 one. Okay, IAM role and security group and EC2 instance. Then how we are going to all together, how we are going to call Terraform all together in one at a time. Okay, so now we have a resource and a resource name. This is logical name. This is the standard one, so we can't change this one. The EC2 one we can give it any name. It doesn't matter. That could be EC2. That could be anything. It doesn't matter. So in the IAM, AMI is basically Amazon Machine Image. So we can pick up anything. If you want to go with Windows one, you can go with Windows AMI. So if you want to go with Linux AMI, you can go. There is multiple flavors available. Whether that could be Red Hat one or CentOS or Ubuntu or there is a multiple OS available. You can pick up what based on the Amazon market is available, lot of AMIs, so we can pick up whatever we want. That's the instance class. I'll go with the T2 micro. Doesn't got anything if we, why, because that's a free tier where I can use. So if you go with a little bit big one, we have to pay the money to Amazon. This is only for the demo purpose. That I'll absolutely go with the T2 micro. Then key name. So key name basically when you go to the key pair, so we have to create a keys. If you go scroll down key pair, so we have to create a keys here. I have key. I have already which I created. That is called YouTube key. Then if I go back and subnet. Okay, let's talk about this one. Okay, so this is it doesn't matter. This is really not required. By why? Because this subnet ID which I using. Let's go back to the subnets. If I go to the services, go to the VPC. Okay, in VPC, at the moment Amazon, this is the default VPC which I am using, but later I'll create a later I'll create a customized VPC where we can use. But real world we don't use the default VPC. We have to create a customized VPC. On the top of that, we are going to deploy the services. Okay, here if you can see here. Uh, this is the one you can see availability zone. So 1A and 1, 2, and 3. If you see here, okay, these are subnets available. So if you want to create servers in availability zone 1A, we have a total at the moment we have 3 availability zone available where I am deploying the London. So if I scroll down, we have 3 availability zone available in the region within the London region. One is for the 2A and 2B and 2C. Now what I'm going to deploy in my server into at the moment 2A. Okay, so this argument is it really doesn't require. I just want to show you to understand clearly why, because this availability zone argument not required. Why? Because the subnet ID which I take from the 2A availability zone 2A, this is a subnet ID which I created under 2A availability zones. I don't want to specifically use the availability zones. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We can use. So if we change it to 2B, again I have to go and change the subnet. Again I had to go ahead and change this subnet. I need to take from the 2B subnet. Okay. Um, okay, this is the VPC security group. So okay, basically these are all called arguments. If you go to the Terraform document, the one which is provided by Harshika. So if these are easy to instance, if I scroll down a little bit, you can see these are all arguments. One is for the AMI and availability zone and the tendency, host ID, core CP. There is multiples available. So we want to know which one we want to use. Okay, that's why when we want to create Terraform, we have to create first manually. Then only you can understand which argument has to pass as part of the terraforming. Okay, while doing the terraforming. Okay, this is the instance type, basically instance class and the key name argument. You can see where I declare the key name and availability zone stuff, instance type. And if I scroll down monitoring, and there is a lot of arguments available. The security groups available. If I scroll down where I am using a subnet ID and VP security group. VP security group is, so you can see my earlier when I trying to create manually, when you create a launch server, we are going to define a security group. Security groups are going to pass the inbound and outbound rules. Okay, if I scroll down here, if you can see the VP security group already defined. How the syntax came? Okay, if you see here, this is the security group where I am calling as a resource. Okay, this is a security group. This is the resource name and this is the logical name. If you scroll down within the default VPC, I'm going to create this one. This is the ingress. I'm going to allow 22 port, and the protocol is will be TCP protocol. The CAD range I'm going to allow to everyone. So if you want to stress a particular one, so particular people we want to assign something like a 16 or so we have to define. It doesn't matter, but at the moment this is only for a temporary dummy purpose. So I'm allowing so global level. So okay. Okay, this the ingress, if you can see egress, so I'm going to allow to everyone the tag name which I'm going to define as this security group particularly creating per issue to. EC2 instance purpose. That's why I'm creating as a EC2 hyphen security group. SG means security group. Okay. Now, if you can see the VP security group syntax, how it is going to create. It's okay. AWS security group. These are which I take from this uh, security group resource group name, and this is a this would be the logical group of logical group name of the security group. If you can see, this is the resource group name, and this is the logical name, and this is the ID. What is mean by ID? ID. Let's say for example, if you go and see the security group syntax. Okay, this is the you can see resource AWS security group. We scroll down. Okay, these are security group syntax. Basically, if you can see here, resource name, and resource logical name. So you can keep it anything, but this name always standard. But this name we can keep it anything. Okay, when you create in a security group, for the we can create a security group multiple ways. One would be the EC2 instance, other would be the load balancer, and different available. Okay, but for understanding purpose, I am creating as EC2-SG. It means that is only for the particular EC2 instance. So to understanding, so ingress we can keep it 443. That could be web-based one. If I scroll down below, there is a different arguments available in the state security group. We can pass it. Okay. I'm keeping as a name at the moment. Description also we can keep it if you want. Okay, if you want to keep description, let's go ahead and copy this one and paste it here. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this one description. Okay, let's go to the security group syntax. Okay, this is the security group syntax. If I can copy here, okay, you can keep it EC2 uh, security group. You can keep it, doesn't matter. Okay, you can keep it such a way. Okay, that's the argument you're going to pass it. Okay, I don't want that one. Okay, let's scroll down below a little bit. So VPC name, the security group has to, which VPC has to create. That's why we were defining as a default VPC, which I have. Okay, so if I okay, what is meant by, if I see what is meant by ID basically, if I scroll down below, let's scroll down below. You can see attribute, that is called attribute. When you create a security group, okay, there is security group ID. It's come, we can call it as ID, we can call it as a name, or ARN, or name. We can keep it anything, but I'll go with at the moment ID. That is called my attribute. Okay, then finally IAM role. What is IAM instance profile? If I scroll down below, I already defined okay, if okay, so how we are going to create IAM role? I want to create IAM profile, then the IAM profile has to attach the particular EC2 instance. If we can see resource AWS IAM profile, AWS, this is the syntax, and this could be the EC2 profile. You can keep anything in name, and the role. So the name which I'm going to EC2 profile, the role which I'm going to call it as a, if you can see resource, that could be the role, and EC2 role, and this is the name. There's a name. That's a standard syntax. So the EC2 server, I'm going to give all privilege. You can see effect is yellow. The SID I'm giving as everything full access. I'm going to give for the EC2 instance. Okay, this syntax I'm going to call it as a here. Okay, uh, IAM underscore instance and the profile. If we can go to the, if we can take this name, if we can take this name, go to the document page. Uh, if you can control F, you can see here, you can see this is the IAM instance profile. IAM instance profile launched the instance, specify the name instance profile, ensure that credential cut, all the stuff. So here, if you want to particular reset in S3X also, just go scroll down, you can create a one more policy, attach the policy to the particular IAM role. Okay, so this is the syntax. If you can see AWS instance profile dot EC2 profile, that could be the logical name of the EC2 profile. This is the logical name of the EC2 profile, and the final ID. ID is the attribute. Okay, these are all the syntax which I defined. This is the way which you want to. This is the way which you are going to create into the real world, but we don't go with any default one. Okay, if I go to the EC2 instance which I already placed earlier. Okay, if I can see here. Okay, if we can see more EC2 instance, if I scroll down one of these are all the syntax which I place in one TF file. So what I will do, okay, I'm going to call it as, now we can see there is no files available. Let's, I'm going to take it as a .terraform file. Okay, now what I will do, I'll explain what is later, what is .terraform file. Okay, now if I enter Terraform in it, now it's going to download the plugins which is required for the based on the provider. Now we are using the AWS provider. Download the plugins provider for AWS, which is HashiCorp. from where it's going to from Archicraft. Okay, because we are using the provider as AWS, that's why downloading the plugins, which is required plugins for the for AWS point of view. If you're using the different cloud vendor, different cloud provider, it's going to download the based on the plugins, based on the provider. Okay. Now what I will do, I'm going to run the Terraform plan. What is Terraform plan? See, Terraform plan basically, so it's going to define blueprint of your uh, services. So the services means inside .df file, what you are going to call, that we can see this is going to happen. So it will show us this a blueprint of the uh, uh, blueprint of the services. So it's going to tell you these are the things which is going to create. If you can see, uh, it's going to create IAM profile and the role, and after that EC2 instance, and if you can see the security group, if you, the security group. So total 4 resources which we called. So 4 resource which we called. This is the one resource. Okay, this is the other resource. This is the other resource, and this is the final resource. So it's going to call. That's why it's growing as a 4 resource. And now I'm going to run. We can see the Terraform plan, which is showing the 4 resources. Now inside Terraform.df also we have 4 resources, which we are calling to create the services. Now you can see plan. We have a 4 to add and 0 to change and 0 to destroy. Okay, let's go to 4. We are good to go. We can see 4. Nothing is going to destroy. Nothing is going to change. Okay, let's go ahead and apply now. If I apply, so it's going to creating now. If you go and see the console level, go to the instance. So at the moment nothing is created. You can see now it's still creating EC2 web, which I'm creating now. So it's still creating. Yeah, I can see apply completed successfully. 4 resource added, 0 to change, 0 to destroy. If you can see console level, okay. So you can see my EC2 web server is created. Now we can see still initializing. If I scroll up, you can see the security group. What is the security group which I created? If you can click on this one, you can see the security group. What is be defined? I okay. If you can see, this is the EC2 underscore edge, EC2 hyphen edge. If you go and see the syntax where I created, you can see security group. This is the name which I created. Okay, EC2-HG, the same name which came from, which you can see here, EC2-HG. Okay, this is the security group. Okay, you can see what are the inbounds available, uh, 22 and 22 port available. Okay, let's say for example, I want to add one more inbound for the security group. Let's see what happened. If I want to go here, okay, I'm going to add one more inbound rule. Okay, I added one more inbound rule. uh, at this time I don't want to go with 22 port. I want to go with 80. Okay, for example 88 80 port. uh, okay, so I'm going to call it as a everything. Okay, you can see. Okay, now I can run the Terraform plan. Let's see, Terraform apply. What will happen? Let's see. If I run the Terraform apply, let's see, you can see one is going to change. What is going to change? So uh, it's going to add security group. It's going to add 80. Let's go ahead and apply. Okay, you can see that applied successfully. If you refresh here, you can see 80 port also available for HTTP purpose. Okay, okay. The one, okay, what else we created? If you go on EC2 uh, security group created, then after that the IAM role, EC2 profile and EC2 role which I created. If you go and see the console level, go to the EC2 server and go to the security IAM roles. One second, let me refresh again. IAM role you want to see. Mm, if I scroll up EC2 web, uh, AMI name, and you can see the security group. Okay, yeah, okay. These are security group. Yeah, that's all. I think you can see that is reflected. The port is reflected. Okay. Uh, Okay, that's all. Okay, we can see. Okay, we have created all these services. Now we are going to destroy destroy the services. Now what we do, if we run the Terraform apply, the syntax, if you can see, the syntax is wrong. If you can see, take this one. Okay, if you can apply Terraform destroy, so what will happen? It's going to terminate the all the resources which we created earlier. So if you can see here, uh, the EC2 instance, the security group is gone. It's going to maybe deleting another few minutes. Still is taking destroying. It's destroying. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. EC2 even edge security group has to gone. Yeah, you can see that is gone. EC2 even edge. So if you can see one after one, the particular profile deleted, destroyed EC2 instance, and you can see all destroyed. If you go and see the server, uh, if you can go, let's go back to see the console server. If you can scroll down, you can see EC2 web server is terminated. Okay, I hope you guys can understand how we are going to create this EC2 instance based on the individual service we are going to call. We are going to customize. Real world, we don't want to go with anything default. We want to with a customized one. Okay, I hope you guys like my videos. If you like please subscribe my channel and uh, like the button. Thank you.